Let's go through a few tactical things first. Israel is warning residents in southern Lebanon to evacuate their homes and moving more troops there to the border while beginning their ground war there. In addition, they've counterattacked Houthi militias in Yemen and launched airstrikes in Gaza, the West Bank. So as we approach this one-year mark, this horrible anniversary of the October 7th attacks, how much longer can Israel keep this tempo up?
Well, as long as Iran is waging war against Israel through proxies and directly itself. I want to go back to what you just said. Israel is warning the Lebanese citizens to evacuate before it is attacking Hezbollah infrastructure. That is what Israel does. Israel's trying to have as little amount of non-combatants casualties as possible. This war is against Israel's existence. October 7th, which happened almost a year ago, and everything that preceded, including the largest ballistic missile attack in a single time ever, which happened last week from Iran, is waged by Iran against Israel for the crime of existing. That is what's happening here. Iran is calling on Israel to cease to exist. They want to dismantle Israel. They want to destroy Israel. And sadly, they want to come to America after. So when they chant death to Israel on the streets of Iran, death to America is coming. And sadly, Israel can't afford to do that anymore. So Israel's been quiet, restraining itself for 11 months after nearly 10,000 rockets, missiles, and drones that were coming from Lebanon until it has to retaliate. That's what's happening now.
Right. Before we move on to what's happening there, let's talk about here quickly. Should we be on alert here in the United States? Monday is October 7th.
I am not privy to FBI investigations and to know what the intelligence is saying. Everybody should look into their community and see what is happening. I would definitely assert, I'm not sure about that, but I would assume that Jewish communities around the United States will have to be on alert around October 7th. I know there are a lot of pro-Hamas affinity groups that are planning October 7th marches to celebrate the massacre. So if I were a vigilant American in America right now, I'd be looking around and asking our community and asking our local police what we should do.
As our viewers kind of dip out and dip back in of what's going on, we can't forget that this does all go back to Iran. And Iran's missile attack on Israel was largely unsuccessful due to the missile defense system surrounding Israel, including that Iron Dome. So impressive. What's the risk of it being overwhelmed and failing?
There's a big risk of that. It's always a question of how many elements they throw at Israel or launch at Israel. If it's just ballistic missiles, if it's ballistic missiles and rockets, if it's drones, they have attempted to overthrow and overwhelm Israel's missile defense systems in the past. It didn't quite work out miraculously. This is an extraordinary system that Israel built because Israel is invested and interested in defending its citizens. That's what we do. This is entirely defensive on behalf of Israel. Israel is not the country with the imperialistic expansionist agenda in the region. That is Iran, and that is what they're doing. And Israel has every right and obligation to stop that.
All right, let's hit on how the media has been covering everything. Following the death of terror leaders like Hassan Nasrallah, some in mainstream media calling his killing an assassination and downplaying his terrorist past. In fact, NewsNation's Dan Abrams even getting a video taken down from TikTok after calling this out. So what's your reaction to this?
My reaction is that the less of those people are around, the better the world is, the better Western civilization is, the better America is. Those people stand against everything that we hold dear, everything that we fought for. Those people are terrorists, jihadists, and they're coming for us in the West as well. Israel, this is not Israel's problem. This is not the Jewish people's problem. This is the world's problem. They say this, they don't hide it. They want to create a worldwide caliphate. They want to create the Shiite crescent. They want an Iranian influence all over the Middle East and beyond. We don't want that. This is not the kind of culture and not the kind of liberalism that we have fought for. So this is not just Israel's problem. This is all of our problems. And I do think that if anybody is calling any of these people freedom fighters, resistant fighters, they really need to check their background and check where they're coming from.
All right. Thank you for your insight. Former Israeli Special Envoy for Combating Anti-Semitism and Delegitimization, Noa Tishby. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
35 minutes after.